People always ask how I balance my family life with 400 shows a year. I'm just doing what I love with the people I love. It's my magic life.
I like Wes Iseli. I like everything about him.
All right, on today's episode, we have, I don't know, what would we call them? This is season 2. Mm-hmm. These folks have won the award of being the most return guests on a podcast. Mm-hmm. We interviewed her, then we interviewed him, and then we interviewed them together talking about Houdini. And this is season 2, and they've been on, this is their 4th appearance. Everybody, it's Dick Brooks and Dorothy Dietrich. What's up, guys? How are you?
We're fabulous.
We're great and very busy and occupied.
Well, that's good. After 2 years of sitting around twiddling your thumbs playing on Zoom, it's good to be busy.
That's the crazy thing. Like, you would think that during the middle of a pandemic that you would just be la-di-da-di-da. What do I do now? I don't know. What do you want to do? I don't know. What do you want to do?
And we've never been busier.
It's insane. Because of Zoom, we have met more people from all over the world than any time in human history. It's like, I can't believe how many really dear friends we have now because of Zooming with them and FaceTiming with people. It's pretty incredible. And you know, like brainstorming, magic, getting together in a room with creative people and coming up with ideas to put a switch on an old routine or an old method, and then we're able to at sometimes put 2 or 3 methods together and come out with a routine that is just brilliant, you know? So, thank you, COVID. Ha ha.
Yeah. Well, at least you got something out of it. You guys have even invited me to several other things, but there's so many things going on with the International Brotherhood of Magicians doing lectures and the Society of American Magicians and your local magic clubs, and then all these other things happening. We have twin infants, so it's hard to break. It's like going to a magic convention. I mean, these things are 3-hour-long lectures that you're sitting down. I don't want to miss a minute of it. So
having three kids that you've got to be caring for, that you're going to do a lecture. But your daughter, how old is she now?
She's 10.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's perfect. That's really perfect.
Yeah, she's a great big sister. She likes to help. So like right now she's with the boys while we're doing the podcast. So
of course she
likes it.
And the babies are over that phase of cooing and cawing in the background, and you know we don't have that on the podcast. I'm sure we had that in your first episodes. We were holding the infants, or they were crying, and Lana couldn't take care of both of them at the same time. But now they're
up and running around and having a good time. So it's not as
great.
It's not as hands on.
Yeah,
they can move themselves.
You have to. It's more hands on now because they're mobile. They run and get into everything and run around. But we've learned how to block off the room, so that's the trick.
You have the furniture all attached to the wall, so it can't be pulled off.
Pretty much. But boys are totally different than girls.
Oh my goodness, yes they are.
You think so? Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Well, we didn't know. Oh man, they're on top of each other. They'll just get a look in their eye and walk across the room and just pull their brother's hair just for no reason. I mean, and they look, they think about it, and they just deliberately walk over and do it, or they'll
start wrestling.
Yeah, they just knock each other down and just start wrestling. Yeah, and they're 18 months old. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. Wait till they're 2. That'll be fun.
Oh dear. I've been told by boy moms that, you know, it's coming. Bloody noses and everything else. Black eyes just from wrestling. Oh, no.
Yeah, well, they're precious. I can't wait till they're older to see what goes on with you guys, because that's going to be awesome.
No, thanks.
Yeah,
it's funny how that's just built in boys and built in girls.
Right.
It's just the funniest thing.
And we were told by somebody that, you know, girls do stuff, they do it sneaky. They if they're going to throw trash behind the couch or something, they'll stretch and, you know, kind of let it, you know, they think it out. They don't want to get caught. Boys just throw it across the room. They don't
hide it.
And it's true. It's like they don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they cry. You caught me. Oh, you said no to me. Oh, my day's ruined.
Yeah.
Anyway,
when I was a kid, my brother George was the wise guy in the family. One time, my mom made something to eat, and we had cottage cheese on the table. And my brother George put cottage cheese in his mouth, and he smushed his cheeks, and the cottage cheese squirted out. And he said, "Look, a pimple." And, and I actually threw up on the table.
Oh no!
Oh gosh!
I was so twisted with that concept. I could just totally visualize
No.
the whole thing. And he got me, and he thought that was hilarious.
I did a human blockhead at my aunt's house, and one of my cousins threw up, and I thought that was great because I was like, "Oh no, people really, they do get affected by this."
He's taking a nail in your nose. But we got to meet Melvin Burkhart. What a great guy he was. He was super. I mean, from the moment he entered the front of the stage, he was just on, and audience loving him every second of him. He was just such a character.
Did we work with him?
I don't know if we worked with him. We probably were performing in the same show, but he was in the sideshow part. We'd be on stage. He was in the 10 and 1 kind of thing.
That's
we
awesome.
Did 10 and 1s at one time.
Yeah, we did one at in New York City. There was a guy named Tommy Laird who had a theater called Theater of Illusion. And it was wonderful.
It was in Times Square, Broadway.
And you go into the space, and they had it was like a gigantic room, the entire size of the building. And so it was
the basement.
Stages all the way around, one after another. Each stage has its own stage and curtain. And when you were introduced, you opened your own curtain, did your show. And you put your own music on. And
did you turn the light on too?
No, the lights were on.
That was a different place.
And so when you're done with the show, you take your bow and you close the curtain and you set up for the next one because they're going to come around again. It was pretty crazy. It was wonderful. But we got to work with great people like Lady Esteline. She was the first person we ever saw swallow 12 swords, the sword sandwich.
Goodness.
And
and she was tricked into it, right?
Yeah, her husband was the sword swallower, but he was starting to feel ill, and said, "Listen, you're going to have to learn the act because you're going to have to go get a stupid day job if you can't do this." So he taught her how to swallow swords, and he said started with a kitchen spoon, and then got to the soup spoon. So she was shoving things down her throat, and then gave her a piece of potato on a string to swallow that. And she was
and pull it back up on the string.
She said it was a nightmare getting used to it. Nightmare, because she never even conceived that she would ever be the one doing it. And then she fell right into it, and she was really wonderful. A great performer.
Well, there's a video of Penn Jillette learning how to sword swallow and seeing that big dude gag and just his eyes watering and gagging, and it's like, no, I have no need. I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
I gag brushing my teeth. When I brush
it's
my teeth,
hard.
I gag. It's awful.
Yeah.
So
and then we had Congo the Jungle Creep, who was a guy that was dressed in the jungle like a Tarzan outfit. And he would come out, and he didn't recognize, he didn't pay attention to the audience. He acted like nobody was there, but he'd come out and look at the
he was usually the last act.
Yeah, he was the last act, for a good reason, I'll tell you what. So he would look across the room at the ceiling. He'd go, "Brouhaha!" And everybody would turn around and look, where the heck is this brouhaha? Nobody knows what he's saying. It means witch in some other language. I don't know what language. And so then he would say, "Brouhaha, come down from there, witch." And he would talk to this person that's not there. And everybody would be like, what the heck is he doing? He looked like a crazy man. And then at the end of it, when the crowd was too full and we had to, make room for the next crowd, he would start chanting and yelling, and he reached into these buckets he had between him and the audience. He had like 3 buckets of water, to keep his space so he could dance around and be wild and crazy. He didn't have the big stage set up. He was right on the floor with the crowd, And so he would reach into the buckets and grab handfuls of snakes and like be screaming at the audience, and the audience would scream back, and they all ran out of the place. It was great.
That's
was the
awesome.
send-off, It was they clear the room. This is the guy.
And then the people in line to come in next saw these people screaming coming out.
And I couldn't wait to get in there to see whatever that was.
Wow.
And but we worked with Chris Capehart was there when he was a skinny kid doing the dancing cane, addicted mind reading. I did magic and
Presto was there.
And illusions, and Presto was one of the acts.
Tisha Booty
was a guy, a little skinny guy, probably couldn't have been more than 89 pounds, and he had a giant bowl of needles, sewing needles.
Real needles.
And you could go up and you could grab a needle and stick it in his body, and he would let you do it. Oy.
No.
And
I don't know how. It was real. It wasn't a trick.
It was real, the real thing. And I said.
And then for $5, he let you staple a $5 bill into his skin.
And he got to keep the
He got to keep the $5.
It's crazy. It was crazy, but it was really good times. I mean, it was fun. Couldn't wait for the next crowd to come in. Every crowd was awesome, and they were excited, and it really gave you the feeling if you were in Houdini's day, and when all of those people that did the 10-in-1 and the circus, the carnivals and stuff, it had to be just like that,
Well, that's what I think of when you're talking about this, the Houdini movie, with Tony Curtis doing the 10-in-1. That's what it sounds like.
Yeah, it was real. It was
wow.
amazing.
That's awesome.
It was wonderful being a part of that.
My first big gig away from home was a sideshow. So I did a 12-minute act, and I said, my introduction to the sideshow was magic. So I had borrowed a $5 bill. They signed it. It reappeared in a nest of boxes in the back of the room. Then I did a human blackhead. Then I did something else, and I ended with a Russian roulette where I died every time. They put the bullet in the gun. They spun the chambers. I held it to my head, and right when the gun was pulled, the trigger was pulled, the lights went out, and I disappeared. So they just thought I was dead. And then the lights came on, and they said, the next act is outside. It's the world's largest bat. Has a span of 10 feet, weighs over 85 pounds, could kill a man in 2 seconds. I don't want to see the bat, Mommy. I don't want to see the bat. And then they go outside, and it's just a large baseball bat that I had a company called Yardstick make for me. And the owners made that bat for me, and they drove it to my house from Maryland. It was pretty awesome.
Wow.
But I still have it in my garage. I paid $500 for that baseball bat, but they hand delivered it.
That's nice.
Yeah, it was
How
awesome.
big is it?
It's 10 feet tall.
10 feet.
10 feet.
It's over 85 pounds. I don't know how much it weighs. It's over 85 is all I know.
Wow.
But you cannot pick it up at the handle because, all the weight is magnified at the other end. So it must be like 500 pounds at the other end.
Yeah.
But it was just propped up against a wall. Everybody said you needed a blow-off. And I was like, the world's largest bat, that's awesome. So on my sideshow banner, it's got, that this act has been all over the world, which is just a lie. And then it has a picture of a world and a big, large bat perched on it with his wings out. So everybody thought it was the world's largest bat.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Well, we have some projects that we're working on now. There's a couple of things. The Houdini Museum is, we're working on doing virtual museum tour and magic show. So that
cool.
we can go worldwide. So people from all over the planet, all you need is an internet connection, and you can hook up with us and have your group, your library, your college, your company put together a special program just for you, and bring the whole story of Houdini to the world. It's going to be a lot of fun. We just have we're getting through all the technical problems, so we're hoping that we can get help to buy the right things the first time, so that we don't have to keep buying stuff when we find out that was the wrong stuff.
Well, now we're talking. I can't wait to see this.
So that should be really a lot of fun. And it's a lot of pressure, but I think it's worthwhile. Once it's together, it's good. We also have done the traveling Houdini Museum, and we've done it at different locations. and it's a lot of work to set it up, because you've got to get it to be secure, so that people can't have access to the collection, but you can see it, but you can't grab it.
Right.
Because that's what happens with people with stuff. You just can't avoid it. And so that's another thing that's available. I'm not sure how to promote it, but
we've already done it.
Yeah, we've already done it several times. So, and it's always successful. People just can't wait to see what we have about Houdini. And then at the one place, they had us scheduled for several talks about Houdini and explain the collection. And so, yeah, I think to do that, to continue doing that, we probably will have in the can video that plays as we talk about different parts of the collection, so people, as they're looking at it, they know what they're seeing.
Wow, that sounds great.
I actually saw a Civil War moving exhibit, and it's like a big giant, the truck on the back of a tractor trailer,
mm-hmm.
and it had side rooms that opened out, like a trail, like a what do you call it? A motorhome kind of thing. You know how they have rooms that pull out?
Right.
And it was like that. It was spectacular, really. That's another option that we could put together, something like that it just goes, you plug it in and it's ready to go. Open the rooms and let the folks in.
Malls and county fairs. That'd be a great attraction. Have you guys thought about it like a 360 camera for your place, so that the people can use their mouse and scroll around while you guys are talking, or zoom in? Or is it just a stagnant cam? Or you haven't thought that far yet? Static.
You mean for
the Houdini tour, when you guys are giving the tours?
You know what? We're trying not to get so much of it available to the world. When you let people in with their cameras, you end up finding it all on YouTube, and I don't know how to get that off.
Well, I'm saying, when you do it Zoom at home, they're going to be able to see it too.
I know.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, it's tricky. I don't know how to deal with it.
Yeah, well, they're going to want to...
Somebody that's listening is going to be able to tell us what to do best.
Well, just reach out to Dorothy and Dick and help them out.
There you go.
Yeah, I mean, we got people from all over the world listening, so, yeah. Get somebody that knows what the heck they're doing. But, I mean, there are tours where you get to go... So think about this. You film it once, and you can sell that for a download or whatever. And they actually get to enter your door, and they get to have a self-guided tour, and they click on something, and it's your voices saying, we got this in a collection, this is when it was. And that way you guys don't have to be there. That one can play 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
We've been to museums that have that, and that is wonderful. You just carry it's just a little, I don't know, like a recorder, but it's not visual, it's just audio.
Yeah, but think about like a video game where they're playing and they're clicking on the different items, and then it's your voices saying different things. I mean, there's a million things you guys could do.
Cool, but that stays, when it's personal, in person, the apparatus goes back to the desk where they checked in.
Okay.
Not their own cell phone, but I don't know. You might be able to do it now with an app that you have to download. That I don't know if you get to keep the app or if it then is dead when you're not at the museum.
Or it self-destructs.
Yeah, but I'm talking about somebody from Europe going over Zoom and then taking part in this.
Yeah.
And they're able to do it, while you guys are asleep. You don't have to have a tour going on. Yeah. There's certain business hours, because obviously German's hours or,
Yeah, the world is all different.
Yeah. And their business hours will be different, you guys. But Houdini's birthday's coming up. What are you guys doing special for that?
Well, it's an idea that Tom Gentile, who is the current president of the Society of American Magicians, came up with. He's president, and he thought he'd like to do things that are, monumental that he can claim that he was a part of. And so he came up with, I was talking about Houdini's gravesite, that we now have all of the money paid up for Houdini's brother and sister's memorial markers that were grave markers that were destroyed by vandals at one time many decades ago. And so those are being manufactured as we speak, and I was hoping that we could have them ready and we could rededicate them on the gravesite on Houdini's birthday on March 24th. So that inspired Tom to do a worldwide birthday celebration for Houdini, all virtual. So I've got he's got people that are coming to the virtual thing, and I've got so many great people. I've got escape artists. I've got historians. I'm looking for my. Let's see. I've got to look on this one. Historians. I've got Andrew Basso sent me a couple of videos that we can show.
Dean Gunnarsson
has some amazing videos, and he's going to be live talking about some of his routines. Chris Campbell has sent a video. Cliff Gerstmann is an escape artist, and he said he was going to send a video. He said that a couple of people that he knows are going to be contacting us. Andrew Basso, there's a video of him where he did an escape. He escaped from burning a giant box that exploded. The box went in the air in flame. The box, flaming box, came down, and the flames caught on his head. And there, you can see on the video where he is set on fire after he's already escaped. So that's really amazing video footage. I've got Boyd Willett, who is, I'll start with this. We're showing at the very end of the day, we are showing a video, the movie that Houdini starred in called The Grim Game, and that's his best film. So several things that's good about that. Number one, that we were able to save that film from the collector and get it restored by Turner Classic Movies and have it available to the world. So we're going to be showing it that night, and we've made an arrangement with John Stirk, who is a member of the Society of American Magicians. He's a musician as well as a magician. So he has written a new score for the film.
Wow.
So it's going to be the premiere of that score, and most people in the world have never seen the Houdini film. So it'll be a fun
and it's
thing.
Houdini's best film.
And his best film. And after the event, we're going to have Houdini historians there for question and answers, as well as the Willett family, who is going to come on during the day and talk about their father was the director of that film, and Irving Willett was a director through the silent movie period, and sadly for the family, at one point in our American history, I guess around the world maybe, all of those old silent films were on nitrate film stock, and they were highly flammable.
And explosive
so
even.
Terribly, very bad news for that. At one point, the fire department across the country decided that those things have to be destroyed because they were burning. Theaters were catching on fire, and wherever they were stored was catching on fire. So instead of copying those films and then destroying them, they took them all and you had to turn it in. If you had those in your possession, you had to turn them in so that they could be destroyed.
They might not have even had the technology to reproduce them, but at any rate.
I don't know, but they were not reproduced. So sadly, I don't know how much of that period is gone permanently, but they said that they had never, ever seen any of their father's work from that period.
Wow.
So when they were in California, when we were at the screening, they were tearful. They were just so happy, that they finally got to see that. And so they're going to be on.
Turner Classic Movies made a big deal out of it.
Yeah, they're going to be on during the day sometime. I'm not sure of the schedule yet, but everything during the day is going to be a lot of fun. So if you like Houdini a little bit, you're going to love Houdini by the end of the day.
We have Mario Manzini.
Mario Manzini is going to do a little offering. We'll show some of his videos. And let me see who I got here.
So, Dorothy, when you say it's his best film, is that your opinion, or is that box office?
It's just no question. If you see all the films and you see that one, there's absolutely no question.
But was it box office as well as popular demand, or?
I don't think. Well, that's kind of a long conversation, because back in Houdini's day, at that period, everything was new. So even the silent films were new. They didn't have talkies yet, and what was happening was all of the old vaudeville theaters were becoming movie theaters, and they're being bought by movie producers. So here's the problem. If you didn't own the theater, very likely your films are not going to get shown in that theater. So it was the producers were creating a monopoly to show their own films in their own theaters. So nobody had a chance except for the ones that were hooked up with the big deal producers. So that was that story. So nobody knows what was fair. But if you watch all 5 films, the one that really is all together and just wonderful is and it's got comedy, it's got drama, and there's the love interest, and
because it was done by a top of the line director.
Yeah, the director was so cute. And I'm not going to reveal some of the things that I know about the director. You got to tune in on March 27th, and it's going to be. You can find. I'm not sure where you can find the link, but I will send it to you. But what's it called on Facebook? It's called Worldwide Houdini Birthday Celebration, I think. So you can find it on Facebook. Stephen Spade is an escape artist that he sent me some amazing escape videos, but Dean Gunnarsson is going to be fun. He's going to be live talking with us.
I really like Dean. I want to get him on the podcast. He's a great guy. Yeah,
you must. Yeah, you must, because he's just wonderful. I also have Matt Johnson. He's from British Columbia, Canada. He sent a video escaping. And we also I have to set up a schedule, because I'll be talking with Jennifer Berman and the director at the Ritz Theater, because she has written a Houdini play about Houdini and Arthur Conan Doyle. So she is going to be in rehearsals this spring, and then possibly with the production coming out on at the Ritz Theater, the same theater Houdini performed in Scranton, Pennsylvania, this coming summer or maybe fall, depending on what the director of the theater can schedule. And so we'll be talking with them, and let's see here. So, there's also a video of Lance Burton doing the roller coaster escape.
Yeah.
It's fun, so we'll be showing that during the day. Let's see here. It's just on and on.
So one more time, they just try to find it on Facebook, is how you find it?
Yeah, Facebook will have it, and it'll be, if you look up Worldwide Houdini Birthday Celebration.
You can scroll this up too.
And,
Worldwide Houdini Birthday?
Houdini Birthday Celebration. I just wanted to call it Houdini Day, but, nobody listens to me.
Yeah, that's a lot to write down. I'm taking notes here. Okay. Worldwide Houdini Birthday Celebration.
Yeah.
All right.
So I'll be talking with David Merlini from Hungary, who has a Houdini collection in Hungary, that he actually has a place that's open, a museum. And so he'll be talking right at the beginning, around 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And Jessica Jane, who's on the road right now, she's doing the cruise ships, and she'll be there that day as well. George Hardeen, who is a relative of Houdini's brothers. Let's see, John Cox will be doing a discussion about all of Houdini's films sometime during the day, kind of as a teaser for the movie later. And I have several magicians that have put together, they've been inspired to put together Houdini tricks that are, like one is, let's see here. Paul Gertner sent a fun, quick video. Let's see. I have Greg, Patrick Terry. He played Houdini in a Houdini play, and he sent a video, so you'll see that. And let's see here. Anthony Darkstone from Portugal has some kind of a presentation that he's doing. And let's see. And I have some live interviews that will be popping up during the day. Just kind of open the floor to a couple of people that I know on that will be viewing. And let's see here. There's a guy I'm trying to get a hold of who his mom worked with, Houdini's brother. So I'm going to try and get him to tell his story that he knows about his mom.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's like I'm finding all kinds of really cool people that should be, a part of this whole thing. We have, Tom Ewing is going to do a little bit of a talk on Houdini history. And so, yeah, even Bess, when she was alive, she wanted a day for Houdini. She called it International Houdini Day. And so maybe if I someday get to take a bigger charge of the thing, we'll rename it what she wanted it to be. International Houdini Day would be fine. That'd be perfect because it's easy to look up, if you know what I mean.
Instead of worldwide Houdini birthday celebration.
Yeah, worldwide Houdini birthday celebration
of all time.
Appreciation, dedication, blah, 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 blah.
Only on Facebook.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like you guys have 13 hours of footage already.
Yeah. I also have Joe Posnanski, who's the author of a Houdini book, a recent Houdini book. And also, he's going to come on and chit-chat with us. And also, what's her name? Another author that wrote a novel that was inspired by Houdini. She went to look up Houdini, and she found Dorothy Dietrich, and she went, "Oh!" And so she started looking at my life, and she ended up making the book a lot about me and Houdini. Bruce Calver is going to be on with us live, chit-chatting about Houdini and all kinds of good stuff. Tony Baronio has a Houdini trick that was inspired by Steve Duschek many years ago, and Tony has brought it into a whole new level. Also, Ariel Freilich, who's a wonderful magician, he has created an escape card trick, a Houdini escape card trick, just for that day. Also, let's see here. Aaron Callahan, that's the writer that wrote The Art of Escaping, which is a novel. And let's see. I'm trying to get a hold of, I got a hold of Hiawatha, who is going to do a fun video for us. He said he'll probably have it ready by Monday or Tuesday, so we'll get to see how that came. And it's just going to be nonstop fun.
It sounds like a convention. I mean, you got lectures, you got magic, you got this going on. Is there going to be any Dorothy Dietrich?
Yeah, I'll be showing some of my escape videos that I did. Also live, I'll be showing the crowd Houdini's vest that we have in the collection, which is just a normal, like a suit vest, but it's not normal. Houdini had set it up so that he sewed a holdout device in it, which, if you can imagine, it's like a flat metal box that's big enough to hold playing cards in it. And then it's attached to a strap and a cable that goes up your sleeve, goes around your waist, and you can have cards come in and out of your sleeve, which gamblers were using it to cheat at cards. So Houdini put that in his book called The Right Way to Do Wrong, exposing it and trying to make people aware not to get conned into, playing cards with somebody that might have this gizmo up their sleeve. And he even told people, if you shake hands with them, check their wrist, and then check the other wrist. Grab the other hand and say, "Hey, how are you? How's the family? How's business?" And check out the other sleeve and make sure there's not one over there.
Wow.
And so he put it in a vest so that he could have an audience member select a card from the deck and then put the deck in his bottom pocket and have the chosen card rise out of the top pocket. So I'll be demonstrating that on that day. And I've got several other things at the museum that will highlight and show some of the cool things that we have. There's also a book that was autographed by Houdini. It's a book that Houdini wrote called A Magician Among the Spirits, and he autographed it. And the autograph is so terrific. He says, "My brain is the key that sets me free."
That's awesome.
Signed Houdini. How cool is that? And we have the pictures, actual photos of his mother and father framed that were from his home in New York City. So there's lots and lots of reasons why you should all be there.
All right, so it's 13 hours straight, though. I got 1-year-old twins. Am I going to be able to? Is it going to be up for grabs a little while later? How does that work?
Yeah, they're going to record it, and
Okay.
I don't know how the additional viewing will occur. We'll have to find that out later. It might be archived at the SAM.
Okay. Wow, sounds like amazing. I can't wait. I want to see the Houdini vest. That's what I want to see.
Yeah.
I gotta come see your museum. So when are you guys gonna open that back up? Any plans on getting it started? Are you gonna be ready for summer?
Yeah, we were thinking April, but now as we look around the museum, there's a lot of things that really should get fixed before we open. Just general maintenance and stuff, and maybe do some painting. And we actually developed a leak through the pandemic on the one wall, so
which
that
we can't explain.
Which I don't know what's going on. So that's got to get taken care of before we can display anything on that wall. And so there's a lot to do. We're thinking maybe, hopefully May.
Okay. Well, at least you'll be in time for summer.
A lot depends on COVID too, whether or not it subsides or what.
But summer's your busiest time, right? Isn't that the crazy?
Yeah.
We have
typically what we do is we open back when everything was all beautiful, even way before the pandemic. We typically would open from Memorial Day through Labor Day, and then October we would stay from September through the end of October and do our Houdini events on the weekends only, and then do also Haunted, the spooky show. It's an adult show. It's not a family show because it's like at night, and it's got all kinds of crazy cool things that we do. It's geared on the very spooky side. It starts off in the theater talking about the building being haunted, and it's a story about the building. It's not a Houdini event. It's a spiritual kind of thing, with ghosts that haunt the building. And then we have Dick is the paranormalist who goes through all the experiments to go into a seance. So he does experiments with mind reading, mental telepathy, clairvoyance, telekinesis, psychometry, and then a short break with free snacks, pizza, and refreshments, and then a seance in the dark where all kinds of things happen in the dark, and it's a hoot. There's from the audience, there's screaming, giggling, laughing. Some people even yell, "Turn on the lights! I got to get out of here." So that one's very, very cool, very unique. And then the Houdini Tour and Magic Show, typically from Memorial Day until July, would be weekends only, because in June weekdays we leave that available for camps to come, camp groups and senior groups to come during the week. And then July and August open every single day. And that's from 1 o'clock until about 4:30. And it starts at 1 o'clock in the theater with a short video with rare film footage of Houdini. And then we take the audience on a fun guided tour through the Houdini collection, telling some fun stories about him into the history room and the prop room, and then back into the theater for the super duper fun, fabulous magic show with there's beautiful doves that appear, 2 ducks, a rabbit, a poodle, all magically appearing, and lots of laughs, audience participation. I saw a man in half, and we float someone from the audience in the air, past the hoop, and float them back down. Lots of audience participation and comedy and fun. Geared for an entire, like, I don't care what culture you are, it's all wholesome fun. It's appropriate for anybody. This does.
And originally we only opened in the summer for those months, and it was enough to keep us going for the whole year. But people wanted to see us at other times.
Yeah, the demand became much greater. So we have been open year round by reservation, only on weekends. Like say from after Halloween, we would just do weekends only, and then take our one break of the year from December through the end of, say, January or March, depending on what how we felt about the weather and how things were going.
Outside bookings, etc.
So, what do you have a disclaimer for the scary show? I don't know if Houdini would like it. You're doing seances and contacting spirits.
Yeah. It's called the Psychic Theater.
Okay.
It's a totally different event.
Theater, and it's if you are sitting in that audience and you're saying this is real, what's wrong with you? It's a show. We say Psychic Theater, and then we take the break, and then when we come back, we say, "Welcome to part 2 of Psychic Theater."
All right. I'm just checking. I don't want Houdini coming back and getting after you guys.
Yeah. Houdini would love it all. Yeah.
That's one of the things that drives me crazy. We have, our podcast is doing really good. I reach out to my magic friends and ask them to be on or come back on like you guys. But, all the other guests that we have people reaching out to us from all walks of life. And people are like, man, I heard your podcast. I really want to be on. And I think we'll really hit it off. I mean, my psychic research tells me that we'll do great together. And, and I can really help people. And, and I'm like, I just don't answer those emails. I can't, it makes my skin crawl.
I know, it's hard to get it. It's hard to get that people are so easily taken in. And I think a big part of it is that if you want something bad enough, your heart will tell your brain that it's okay, that it's real and it's all good.
Well, these are psychics wanting to come on my podcast and try to recruit other people for their craziness. And I'm like, no, I'm good. I just don't answer them. I'm too busy.
Well, we just yesterday got a call from someone who wants us to do. They want to do fundraisers for the Houdini Museum, and they're a spiritualist, and I have no idea what angle they're going with. So we haven't even talked to them yet. I'll see what it's about, and maybe we've got an exposure to do. I don't know.
Wow.
But we did have a person from Canada that called the Houdini family and told them that they were in touch with Houdini on a regular basis, and she said that she talks to Houdini and also their mother who has passed, who was Marie Blood, who was Houdini's niece. So this guy is Jeff Blood, who is Houdini's grandnephew. And so he said, I don't know, she called and she wanted, and he said, I told her she wanted the Houdini family to go to Canada to get filmed on her program so she could video the whole thing, for her show. And he said, well, I can do it if the Houdini people from the museum in Scranton will go. Because he said,
She started out as an animal psychic. She would contact people's dead animals. You can imagine that.
Or they might even be live animals. She's telling the people what your animal is saying and thinking.
Yeah, I'm not sure my dog speaks English. I wouldn't even know what language to use.
My dog speaks dog, and I can tell what she's thinking. When she starts sniffing the room when I'm cooking, she would like me to get her some food.
Yep. Yeah, it just drives me crazy. It really does. It makes my blood boil. It makes me anger worse than politics, worse than anything else.
Oh, don't even start. You're
yeah,
right.
no, it does. It just.
Here's the problem with it. Here's the real problem with it. That is, it angers me. It frustrates me. It hurts me because there's nothing you can do to convince a person who is grieving someone that they miss every day. Every day they miss that person. They would do nothing to stop from getting a contact from that person in any way possible. And so there's what you're dealing with. Somebody that's heartbroken and would love to have closure.
Well, it's love. It's health, wealth, and finance, right? It's health. It's love. I can't remember the three. It's love, health, and finance. It's those three big categories. I'm broke. I need help. Somebody stole my money. Let's go to a psychic and give them every last penny I have to find out who took my money. Or, will I hit the lottery ever? And, I can't find anyone. Or I've lost love. Or I have cancer. Let me go to a psychic and see if I can get help.
Yeah.
And, these people, and people I've looked up to and I respect that believe in that crap.
I don't know if you realize it, but Sylvia Brown told this woman on TV that her son was definitely dead. The son became missing, and she said, "No, your son is definitely dead, and you're never going to find him. He's in a body of water."
Yeah, I know this story, but go ahead and tell it, listeners, please.
And it was a lie. They found the boy alive.
But it gets worse.
Oh, what was the rest of that?
If it's the same woman, she committed suicide, and they found the baby. They found the kid later.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I mean, she was just so blunt and in your face, like you're stupid if you don't believe this.
But crass.
Yes,
Really
and
crass.
your kid is in a body of water. I mean, he's right there. I can see him. And then, the lady mourned and died, and I don't know if she committed suicide or died of cancer. She died before the baby was found. Yeah.
Oh, that's heartbreaking. Yeah, that's heartbreaking. But I was doing the tour at the Houdini Museum one day, and I'm talking to the people, and we had no children in the room at that time, so I was able to talk about the book that Houdini wrote, A Magician Among the Spirits, and showed them the autograph, and I said, how many people here like the mediums on TV that talk to the dead? And about there's always at least 10%. Always at least 10% of the room.
Maybe more.
They love that. And a lot of times there's more than that. And this one woman, not only did she raise her hand, but she got all emotional about it. She went, "Oh, yes, I just love Sylvia Brown. I love her." And I said, "Oh, tell me, what is it?" She said, "I have all her books. And I watch her all the time, and my family bought tickets to her show, her performance, and I just love her, and she's just best, blah, blah, blah." I said, "Oh, okay. So the books that she wrote, did you read all the books?" She goes, "Yeah, I did." And I said, "Well, what'd you think?" She said, "Well, actually, a lot of them are the same, just, with a different cover on it." And I said, "Oh, okay." And so I didn't pick on her. And I said, "Here's what I would like you to know. When you go to do to be in the audience of a TV show like that, they ask for your name and address and who you are. All they have to do. And, by the way, if you're going to be on that show, don't you think they're going to ask you questions about why you wanted to see this event? Did they ask you to fill out anything, a question for?" "Oh, yeah, I gave her several questions." So, "Oh, good." And I said, you're writing the show for her. When you tell her about the person you wanted to, don't you think that that's, scamming you? And if they can look you up and look up the person that you want to contact, look for the obituary. We have Google. You look for the obituary, they're going to tell you who that person was, what they did, who the survivors are. it's like you more than enough for one show. You can have more than enough for one show. And by the way, if they want to get you later, they can scam you more than once.
Yeah, it's.
And she said, "Oh, I never really thought of that." And I said, and back in the day, the early days when Houdini was around, they would look at the obituaries and they'd send somebody to the cemetery. And guess who's at the cemetery? Not just the person who died, but all the rest of the family. And you can find out who was this person and who was that person and look up their obituaries. Don't you think you could really super scam somebody easily, just from what articles you can find in the newspaper? A lot of times when those people die, the mediums die, they find their home is full of stacks and stacks of newspapers, society page newspapers, and obituaries.
And what about that Long Island lady? Is she still around up there? That's near you guys.
You mean the blonde? What's her name?
Yeah, the Long Island medium.
Yeah, Long Island. Yeah. Oh my gosh, she's not even good at what she does.
Well, I mean, but look up her net worth. I mean, her net worth is $30 million, something like that.
Yeah, she's very wealthy, very well. And that's I also asked, how much do you think they're making from this? Do you think they're just doing it for the love of helping people? No, they're charging gigundo fees. Sylvia Brown, I think it was $750 a minute to talk with her.
Good.
They look to get their inheritance too.
And they convince you that they need to carry on their holy work. So please contribute to our charity.
Wow.
Bequeath your inheritance to our charity.
Good work.
Now, Houdini was ticked off for a lot of reasons because, number one, he didn't like to see people scammed. He said because one of the main reasons was they were using magic effects to scam people, to make it look like there were spirits in the room and sound and feel like there's spirits in the room.
Even tried it at the beginning.
And so, yeah, and in 1985, I think, 1987, 1985, he was 18, let's see, I don't know when it was, but he was he was doing a show, and he called Beatrice psychometric clairvoyant.
Wow.
Mademoiselle Beatrice Houdini, psychometric clairvoyant. And so they did these shows and realized the audience was so easily suckered in that it ticked him off that they were such easy prey. And he thought, these people are like, this is too easy. So when he did the research and found out that they were really being scammed and, paying everything they owned just to get a message from the person that they missed so much. And so that's when Houdini said, that's it, I got to go after these people. He stopped doing the medium shows and started exposing them. He even had people go out and sign up for with mediums to do readings and seances, and then those people would report to Houdini what they found. And then Houdini would go in with a detective, not saying it's a detective, he'd go in disguise and bring someone with him who said he was his cousin or brother or whatever. And at the end of the seance, Houdini, when the lights came on, Houdini would say, look under the table. You're going to find where the music goes. Look over there. You're going to see a thread coming from over there somewhere. You're going to see, a tipping.
Behind the curtain.
Underneath the table, there's a rod that makes the table tip, and feel like it's rising. And look behind the curtain for this or that. It's like, and then that would cause them to be run out of town, hopefully arrested and run out of town, but that just means they set up in the next town, So, yeah, he really wanted to do something about it. In fact, in 1926, in spring of that year, he went to Congress and asked for a hearing, which he got, to have them banned from claiming the things that they were claiming. However, Houdini did not win the case because the mediums claimed that they were a religion. And for sure that had to burn Houdini up because they're definitely not religious.
Wow.
Definitely scamming people. And now he died in October that same year, 1926. So you can be very sure that if he had lived longer, he would have been really working hard to make sure he has another case proving that they are not a religion, that they're totally scammers.
Well, as a kid reading his history books, they always had several chapters about him after his mom died, you know, exposing these people and trying to find these people and exposing these. And I'm like, man, get back to the magic. But now that I'm older, it's like it made him sick like it does me. That's all it was.
Yeah,
He was trying to get rid of the crap because it's awful.
Here's the thing, from the war, so many people lost loved ones.
Yeah.
You know, in the military, and just innocents that died during the war, and you're separated from your family, and it's just awful time. And everybody would, like 90% of the population believed that the mediums were real, so they were easy breezy prey for the mediums, easy prey. So that's why Houdini was so adamant about getting it done. Number one, it made him feel good. Number two, it was helping people who would believe him. Some people, no matter what you say or do, they're not going to believe you.
Yep.
Because they need it to be true. It's not like they want it to be true. They need it to be true that you can communicate. That's why Arthur Conan Doyle, who was brilliant, I mean, he wrote Sherlock Holmes. He was a brilliant writer. And he was an avid believer in the mediums because he had lost his son without even getting to say goodbye to him. And so that he was desperate to get messages from his son. So he was easy prey for any of them. And so, yeah, they were good pals until Conan Doyle decided that he was all in and he was going to believe it. And he thought Houdini was just, you know, building this case for publicity and blah, 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 whatever. He didn't really believe that they were scammers. And so he ended up not being friends with Conan Doyle. And in fact, Conan Doyle even called Houdini a mystic, and that he had these special powers to, when he gets locked in a cabinet or in a box, that he has the ability to dematerialize and then rematerialize on the outside. and Houdini said, "No, I'm not going to tell you how I do it.
I can't tell you the secret.
I can't tell you the secret, but I'm not a spiritualist.
It's normal means.
I'm not supernatural. I am super normal because I have practiced long and hard to do what I do, but I am not supernatural. I'm super normal."
Well, guys, that's an hour podcast. We flew by. Houdini's birthday is on March 24th.
Yep.
And on March 27th is Houdini Day. It's Worldwide Houdini Birthday Celebration on Facebook. One more time, Worldwide Houdini Birthday Celebration on Facebook. Look that one up. 13 hours. Please don't miss it. What is the website for the museum one more time?
Houdini.org. Like organization, O-R-G.
And if you guys want to help Dorothy and Dick figure out their logistics with their cameras and their tour, contact them.
Real quick, here's another thing that is real important. We're a nonprofit organization, 501c3. The pandemic has hit us really hard. We're on our knees. We need any kind of help that we can get, financial or otherwise. If anyone knows how to set up the Zoom thing for virtual, and if anybody could help out with financial help, that would be absolutely incredible. It's a 501c3 charitable organization. And I can't thank you guys enough for doing this. Thank you.
Well, I love you guys. You have become like a sister to me, Dorothy. I love you guys so much. I can't wait to see you in person and hug you and talk to you. And yeah. And I'm going to put this on the Magicians Facebook group and see if I can reach out to even more people. But anyway, yes, you guys are awesome. Thank you guys so much. Hold up the line. I got 60 seconds to do a couple plugs. I love you guys.
Awesome.
Shows are back, and we just updated our website with our upcoming show schedule. Lots of private shows on the books, but on April 15th and 16th, we'll be at Hyatt Regency Resort in Cambridge, Maryland. Come out and see our show for free as you enjoy the beautiful hotel by the bay. Our television show, Wes Iseli's Magiclife, is picked up by Golden Media Syndication and is now in syndication across the country. Check your local listings. If you can't find us, search Roku, look for Nudu channel, and then find Wes Iseli's Magic Life. Last but not least, check out our merch at wesisley.com. That's logo t-shirts, Magic Life TV t-shirts, hats, stickers, playing cards, and more. See you next week. Check us out online at wesisley.com and patreon.com/Wes_Isley for behind-the-scenes videos, blooper videos, never-before-seen footage, discounts on merchandise, magic trick tutorials, and more. That's Wes Iseli, spelled Wesiseli.